A few weeks ago, we had a bull session on the topic of fragility, robustness, and anti-fragility. These are concepts popularized by Nassim Nicholas Taleb in his books, including Fooled by Randomness and The Black Swan. It boils down to a risk-based framework for decision-making, right? So the goal is anti-fragility, being in a position where you can profit from unexpected disasters without having to know exactly what the disaster will be. The concept's deeply linked to the buy side of insurance, long options in the derivatives markets. You pay a premium, meaning you take a small regular loss in order to maintain optionality. In other words, the ability to make advantageous decisions in the future so that when disaster strikes, you've got choices other people don't. So here's a story about how this is playing out for me as we speak. As most of you know, I live on the island of Bali. We've been here about 4 months, rather we'd been here about 4 months when COVID hit. And we went through some visa gymnastics right before Indonesia locked down. And the upshot was that we entered the lockdown with valid 6-month visas that just needed to be maintained with a monthly fee. So there are thousands of foreigners here on Bali with us. And when the lockdown started, some had long-term visas, but most didn't. So Indonesia announced a general amnesty, right? If you're in the country, you could stay for the duration of the lockdown, whether your visa was valid or not. So there were sort of automatic visa extensions for everybody. Now, the majority of foreigners on Bali, they don't have a lot of money, right? That's why they're here. So when that announcement came, woohoo, one less thing. And even people with valid visas like ours kind of quit paying the maintenance, right, in order to conserve cash. So meanwhile, I'm thinking about optionality, right? What happens when the automatic extensions expire? And this looked like a classic anti-fragile trade-off, right? You pay a regular premium, monthly visa maintenance, in order to preserve optionality in the face of disaster. In other words, you have a valid visa when everybody else's is declared invalid. So we continue to perform the monthly gymnastics and pay the monthly fees to maintain our visas. And aside from business visa holders, which are kind of a different category, we're the only people we know who did this. So our friends all think we're lunatics. So a few days ago, Indonesia made 2 announcements. Number 1, Bali will reopen for business and foreign travel on September 11th. Number 2, all automatically extended visas will expire, and all holders of automatic visa extensions have to leave the country by August 9th. And there's no guarantee Bali will actually reopen in September. So to people like us who are making a home here, this is a disaster, right? It means packing your entire life into 2 suitcases, take only what you can carry, and get out. Who knows where you can go? Who knows when or if you can come back? Meanwhile, we're completely unaffected. Our visas have been valid all along. They'll remain valid up through September and beyond. We don't have to go anywhere. So I'm happy to have made a good decision, but that's not my point. The point is that this is a framework, right? Anti-fragility, optionality, and the rest. And it seems to be a machine for producing highly reliable decisions like that one in the face of massive unknowns. It's just my luck. I started digging into it in the months before the COVID crisis, and it served me incredibly well. So I'm happy to entertain any questions you might have. And if there's enough interest, we'll schedule another bull session on the topic. Just reach out.